On to our monthly virtual interactive conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. I'm the founder, president, and CEO of the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. We host our monthly virtual interactive conference every last Saturday of the month. Why do we host monthly virtual interactive conference every last Saturday of the month? Because we are trying to raise funds for our film project. About this event, I'm encouraging everyone on my Facebook page and everyone in my social groups, such as Light of the World Inspirational Group, Christian Spoken Word Network, your Kai of Africa, Kai of Chicago, just to name a few. Those of you who are Black artists, African artists, such as authors, comedians, fashion designers, filmmakers, models, musicians, poets, gospel singers, spiritual leaders, as well as Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs. You are more than welcome. Come on here and get on camera and promote your books, your business, and your music. Or if you have a small ministry, tell us about your ministry. Although we don't have a physical building at this time, we are using um, the best that we can, what we have, and that is this technology broadcast. Um, I would say this virtual event beyond Chicago. On this platform, we're genuine, sincere, transparent, and authentic. This event will help expand your network, enhance your profile visibility, and make more meaningful connections with the global community. The Grassroots Community Activist Movement holds these virtual interactive conferences in order for us to raise funds for our film project, quote, Hood Liberator, made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. This docudrama will change the game and lead the path towards cultural progress in Black America. We use crowdfunding such as GoFundMe, pay, our PayPal Giving Fund page, or our Buy Me a Coffee page. Because some people, they tell me, oh, I don't like to use GoFundMe. And so I'm like, okay, well, we have a PayPal Giving Fund page. And I recommend if you are a US citizen, use that PayPal Giving Fund page because you can use that as a tax write off because this is a legitimate 501c3 faith based community advocate organization. And I want everybody to know exactly where the funds will be going. Our goal is to raise $250,000. Yes, that's a lot, but again, that's a quote unquote low end for trying to do a film. Usually, films people, it's in the millions, to make a film, a quality film. So I just want to make a Black empowerment film to let the whole Black world know our story. And when I say ours, I mean members of GRCAM. Because again, I can't do this alone. It takes a team to make a dream work. Before I jump into this presentation, I'm going to show you all some slides. That's for my credibility because I come with receipts. Since January of this year, I've been doing these conferences, and every week try to, interact with everybody that's on my friends list. And I'm gonna say since January up until now, August, still no donations. It is what it is. I want my listeners to understand the white supremacist financial elites, they're not going to fund this film project because this is where they want us to be in the first place. They want to continue to harm us. They want to continue to have us to be on that slave plantation, either, mentally in terms of keep voting for the same political party that's not doing jack for the Black community or the African American community. So I'm going to show you those slides in a minute. My critics have the nerve to ask me what's taking me so long to get my Christian business up and running. And I flip the script and I ask them, have you purchased my revised book? They say no. I ask them, have they bought any items from my virtual store? They say no. I ask them, have they donated to the film project? They say no. Then how in the hell do you expect me to do my job if you ain't supporting me? If you do not support your advocates, you won't have any advocates. Now, let's keep it a buck. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. White man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to my film project. That's a personal choice. That's Willie Lynch, which is the slave mentality, ladies and gentlemen. We're up against, um, or I can say I'm up against a 400-year mentality. I am called to break that mentality, but it's only going to be for GRCAM numbers. I can't help everybody. It is what it is. I don't want to waste another 33 years trying to reach out to Black Chicagoans / Black Americans that don't care. The majority of Black Americans have become Americanized, entitled, and develop a narcissist attitude. Nowadays, it's every Black person for themselves. And this is the real Black America, not what you all see on TV. Because I live this stuff. I'm going through it. And I have receipts to back up what I'm saying. I reached out to to people from the conscious community, such as Antonio Moore, co-founder of ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, because at that time we both were speaking about the wealth gap between blacks and whites in America. And I felt a connection. I'm like, hey, look, let's work together. And also I was trying to get him to come speak on my platform at that time. I was on Blog Talk Radio. But he started acting all funny with me and stuff, wouldn't give me an exact date if he's gonna come on my show. And then, you know, I just kind of got tired of keep reaching out to him because I reached out to him a couple of times and he was like, I get back with you and all that stuff. And he said, I have to check my schedule and all that stuff. But bottom line, the guy had a big ego problem. Um, so I decided to do, like a little research about ADOS. Come to find out, they stole the name from a brother named Norris Skelton. He came up with the term descendants of American slaves. So all they did, him and Yvette Cornett. I know her name is Yvette. I, I forgot her last name. I think it's Yvette Cornell. But anyway, they just rearranged the title. Again, they call themselves American Descendants of Slavery. So they just switched it around. Descendants of American slaves. That's where they got the idea from, their title and all that. And so so when I found that out, then other things was came to my attention that they're just basically trying to keep Black Americans on that Democrat plantation by encouraging their listeners to vote Democrat, ballot down. In other words, vote blue no matter who. And I wasn't rocking with that. I reached out to brother Tariq Nasheed. I was exposed to him by one of my associates. They hit me up with his hidden color films, and I saw some of those, and I liked it. Tariq Nasheed, he's accredited for starting the delineation movement, uh, better known as FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Um, so I tried to email him and reach out to him and see, if I can get him to consider being part of my film project, and things like that. But, he never returned my email. So, it is what it is. I left it alone because I ain't going to be um, chasing somebody down to work with me. I reach out to you. If you don't respond, I keep it moving. I reached out to Professor Black Truth. He never returned my email. So it's what it is. I also reached out to a sister by the name of Vicky Dillard. I like her content, and I was trying to see if I can get her to be involved with my film project as well. Didn't hear anything back from her as well. And that's just the name of few. Majority of Black Chicagoans that I spoke with in real life told me that they're not interested in my vision and plan. And it is what it is. And this is why I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan to those who would listen, um, and to reach like minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, like minded African immigrants across the United States of America. Now, I have been paying out of pocket for my business title because I have the business title and got all the paperwork done and all that since 2010. And I still have little to no support for what I'm trying to do for our people. I pay the city, state, and IRS every year. This is why my film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to Africa. This is for credibility. Now, I run across some twisted brothers and twisted sisters that say, oh, this sounds like a scam. And I try to explain to them selling a book is not a scam. Those are uneducated people that just, all they want to do is complain. They complain about the white man, they complain about the government. But when a brother like myself try to step to them, say, hey, look, work with me because the whole purpose of me writing the book is so I can generate capital, so I can be in a position to hire people. It is what it is. Uh, I created my virtual store in order to generate capital so that way I can hire my staff. Those are tangibles. It's something that you can touch and feel. And it's legal. But the Black community um, supports the dope man more than they support me. That's how it is. And he is selling his drugs is laced now with fentanyl. I sell ideas and I want to turn my ideas into a reality. And I wrote my book to recruit brave and smart people that have the skills that I'm looking for those persons to make themselves known to me. Because I provide my email address in there, my business email. So I'm trying to do what I can. Uh, my focus here on out is to connect with like minded Black Americans, like I say, beyond Chicago, like minded African immigrants across the United States of America. All I'm asking you to do for me first, read my story. Quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. Read it for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. I am called by my Lord and Savior, Jesus/Joshua, to build the best African American business within the United States of America called the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Those who will help me build this business will be GRCAM members, which will consist of Black Americans and African immigrants from 10 African nations. They are as follows: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. Each of those African nations that I just mentioned, we are going to um, set up local chapters there. We're going to go to each of those African nations. But the first one, like I say, we're going to go to is South Africa. But before I do all of that, we got to get it popping here in Chicago first. That's where my credibility is going to come in. And before that takes place, um, I need my management team to work with. Well, that's the whole purpose of me doing this podcast in the first place is to recruit brave and smart people that's going to be on my management team. That's going to first help me um, they're going to get behind this film project and they're going to help me with this film project. They're going to go down in history with me and Sister Renee. But you can't be behind a computer. I need smart boots on the ground. We're going to shoot the film here in Chicago. But I got to raise the money first. I understand that you all are here to live your American dream, and that's cool. Over here, I'm not about us going out marching and protesting. It's not what we're about. As long as you're legal, we're good because those are the only people that I want to network with in the first place. People that's legal. I don't associate with hardened criminals and con artists because they're not going to mess up my reputation. Um, so that's where I'm at on this. My book is available in two forms: as an ebook for $9.99, and also as a softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. Okay. Um, Also, I want to make sure that Sister Renee is well taken care of because she has been working with me behind the scenes for the past 13 years. Also, I want to stress that my revised book has been on Amazon for 13 years and still barely selling. So I'm not going to write another book. That's not my purpose. I stand on what I've written. I want to create legitimate, I would say, productive Black businesses in the African American community. That's all I want to do. Once we get this thing popping here, I'm going to turn it over to my management team and I'm going to South Africa to get it popping over there. I gave Black America 33 years of my life. Still on first base. I don't like what I'm experiencing. It's not cool. It's unacceptable. And I want to make sure that my members would never have to endure what I went through just for trying to do something positive in the African American community. This is what my film is going to be about. Before I turn the business over to my management team, again, I want to make sure that I will be able to sustain myself in South Africa. I want to make sure when I come to South Africa that I can bring economic tangibles in terms of being in a position where I can hire people or that I can hire Black South Africans. So that's what I want to do. And I want to make sure that they are going to, join GRCAM because this is going to be membership based. Again, you know, can't help everybody. God give us free will. Like I say, I've been pushing this for the past 33 years. This is going to take a miracle for me to get this um, film project fully funded and paid. But hey, I'm doing the best that I can. Um, Again, this docudrama um, will not be owned by Disney. It will be owned by GRCAM members. You know, so that's what it is. Um, so I'm going to pull up some things. One thing I want to pull up, the first slide is called, the title of it is called, I will pull up a Zoom call of 44,000 Black women raised 1.5 million for Kamala Harris in 3 hours. We were ready. And that's coming from Fortune magazine. The second thing I'm going to pull up, the second slide is called The Median Wealth for Black Americans. Quote, will fall to warnings, new report, The Guardian. And so that's all I'm trying to say. If we can go ahead and get this film project fully funded and made, if Black women, you know, they, and I, this is the third slide, it's going to talk about the exit polls of 2024 about Black women at 92%. If they use that same energy like they used to try to help Kamala Harris, is $250,000. So I can do a quality film, a quality Black empowerment film. And then what the proceeds from the film, whatever it may be, that's going to help me put me in a better position financially so I can qualified African immigrants to help me build the business and run the business without me always having to be there present because I want to turn the business over and I want to go ahead and do what I can to get more out of life. Because I don't want to be bogged down with Black American issues for the rest of my life. It's a real big turnoff right now that we are in the 8th month and still I haven't got any donations at all. And the book is still barely selling. If you're not interested, delete me off your friends list. That's all I can say. And insult to is that on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn page, I have 10,000 followers. So a lot of people online just want to be seen. I'm not on. I'm standing on business, and I want to connect with, like I say, people that's not standing on business. Anybody that I have a track record, and so I'm proving who I am and what I'm trying to do. It's a turnoff. I don't like what I'm going through here, but it is what it is. Our business popping here in Chicago first, and I want to replicate the business in South Africa, and then we're going to expand to the other brothers and sisters on the continent. And in my business, we want to compete against Pan-Africanism. It's been out for, like I say, last in 25 years. So over here, I mean, I just want my team in place, smart people that's about business, and for us to go ahead and make this happen. That's all. Um, so number four, I'm gonna show people my Amazon author page. Number five, I'm going to show people my GoFundMe page, let you see that, we haven't got any donations at all. PAL Giving Fund page, I'm going to show you all that, as well as our Buy Me a Coffee page. Because the reason why I have these three different, I would say, crowdfunding source sites, use GoFundMe. I'm like, okay, fine. Don't use it. Then use our PayPal Giving Fund page. That's legit, you know. But bottom line, these are the things where you could make your donations from. But the main thing, what this is all about, is in writing. I go in detail, and everything that's in that book, we're going to carry out to the fullest. Over here, all of the principles in the book is set us apart from all these other, I would say, Black grassroots organizations. We're going to be on code. We're going to work together, and we're going to make this happen. This is not for me. This is for those of you that's parents. This is for your children. Those that lives in those violent communities, underserved communities, the African American community, to be Pacific. We're going to get it popping on the west side of Chicago, then make our presence known on the south side of Chicago. Now, if it expands to other cities, cool. If not, hey, I done my out shame, standing on business, trying to make this thing happen. But again, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. That's why I'm trying to get African immigrants involved from 10 African nations to help speed up this process. Because mark my words, once here in Chicago, everybody's going to want to be a part of this business. But I don't operate like the next Black man. I have my own styles and way of doing things. Those that rejected me for the past 33 years, I'm going to embarrass you. And you still would not be part of my business, because we're coming against that slave mentality. This is membership base. I have to get people outside of Chicago to come here to work with me to help get the thing popping. It is what it is. From Wisconsin, that's out of state, for those of you that don't know, to come here to work with me. So I wish I could meet more people like Sister Renee. She read my story. She was impressed. She said that she want to be down with what I'm doing. All right. So let me go ahead and do these slides, and we'll take it from there. Now I'm not going to play any sound because it don't work on my end. That's one thing. But I want to encourage my listeners to connect with me on my section below this audio podcast. Click on that link. Scroll down all the way down to Show and Prove, and you would see all of my sources. This is okay. Here's the first thing I would like to share with my listeners. Those of you see right here, this is coming from Fortune magazine. And again, the reason I'm showing this is because this is what Black women have done. Black women, this business is for you, and Black men as well. But I'm creating GRCAM of Chicago's to strengthen the Black family. It's going to get worse for the kids. Because eventually those Democrats, they're going to eventually win the White House, because I told you, as I stated in my revised book, it's all about tit for tat. Those are the two political parties, the American public, a false sense of, that they have a choice. They control both of those political parties. Okay, so there it is right there. Black women helped raise $1.5 million for Kamala Harris in 3 hours on a Zoom call. And so, you can read that, this article and all that. If Black, with this Our Film project, that use that same energy. Because again, I'm not running for public office. I'm just trying to get my business up and running here in the city of Chicago so I can turn the business over and expand the business. Again, like I say, that slave mentality, You know, it's our own people that want to see me fail. And I have people like that in my own family, very unsupportive. And so people like those people, I mean, if I ain't gonna take that kind of mess from my own family, how you think I'm gonna be with strangers? So, I just keep it moving. That's all. Okay, that was one. Let's see. This is the other thing I wanted to show you all. This is coming from the Guardian. Medium the median wealth of Black Americans will fall to zero by news report. I say 2040. So it's like about a 10-year difference here or take. But bottom line, the white supremacist financial elites is determined to make sure that Black Americans, I'm just saying, as a collective, that we're gonna suffer $1 trillion spending power. If that money would come this way, just a little bit, business would be up and running in no time. If it was up to me, this business would have been up and running in, I would say, 10 cities right now and in at least 5 African nations, if it was up to me. Some people want to, some people, like I say, it's just that slave mentality. We gotta people, Black people, like-minded African immigrants, people that's going to be on the same page. That's all, and that's who I'm trying to connect with. Very, is very difficult. And if it wasn't for the internet, I would have taken my vision and plan to my grave. But I'm determined to be heard because I have something positive to offer. I'm trying to create, and I'm going to get into detail about that a little later. So, all right. Let's see. I'll pull this up. This is, and where the cursor is right here. This is why I see right here 92% Black women voted for Kamala Harris and 77% Black men voted for Kamala Harris. Those are large numbers. Those are people that's still on that Democrat plantation. Over here, we are demanding that these Black politicians give us economic tangibles. We demand lineage-based slaves slash freedmen. We also want to push for an anti-Black hate crime bill because um, Kamala Harris, she gave her people, she approved it, the Asian anti Asian hate crime bill. But when it comes down to Black Americans, you're like, well, and she said this on the it's called something specifically for Black people. No, but she did something specifically for the Asian people. See that double standard is what it is, and I'm glad that yes, other Black I would say Black grassroots organizations, they're biting from us on this over here where we're at, but but over here we standing on business, standing on speaking the gospel of truth. That's what we're standing on. The gospel of truth with facts. You know. All right. Let's see. Um, so bear with me. All right. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the foundation of my business right here. The book right here. The Kindle, which is the ebook, is $9.99, and the paperback is $15 plus shipping and handling. I'm asking everyone that's listening, please purchase my ebook, read it for yourself. Then make arrangements to encourage others to get involved. Work with me while I am alive. Don't wait until I am dead. This is real. These things that I'm going to talk about in this presentation. Over here, it's not about me. It's not really about entertainment when I'm on here. Now, when I comedians or, if they are musicians and stuff like that and want to use a little humor, that's fine and dandy. But again, the title of my podcast is helps. I use the term genocide because you cannot sugarcoat genocide. So I'm this is a call to action. This is not something to be playing games with like animals every weekend in the black ghettos. And American society don't care. They care more about animals. That's the community I came from. I'm trying to give back, trying to create something positive, trying to create job, legitimate business youth pocket so that they don't have to be tempted about becoming a career criminal. I'm trying to keep our youth off the streets and out of gangs. But again, once we get this thing started here in Chicago, I'm turning the business over because that's what I don't want to waste another 33 years. All I'm trying to say. But look, this is Americans. The main thing they want to do is just saying the people that I encountered. They tell me that they don't like the title of the book because it says the solution. Because in their mind, there is no man, so to speak. So again, that's that slave mentality. But it is what it is. To each his own. Alrighty. Uh Trying to get out of this thing. Um, Here's my GoFundMe page and see no donations at all. None. White supremacist financial elites, they glad to see that because this is going to help the black community. But again, if you don't support your advocates, you won't have any advocates. Um, all right, I'm almost done. Bear with me. Here's our other, I would call it crowdfunding source. This is coming from the PayPal Giving Fund. Like if you're a US citizen, this is why I recommend that you donate through this right there. But nope, no donations. And here's my last one I want to show you. This is called Buy Me a Coffee. And again, if you don't want to use our GoFundMe page or our PayPal Giving Fund page, which I think you should if you're a US citizen, because again, you can use that as a tax write-off. Again, this is a legit faith-based community advocate organization that I'm trying to build right now. Um, it's just I just have it as a business title. Can't do anything yet because I'm not getting any funds. Can't even do my job. It is what it is. But like I say, this is going to come to an end. My creator is, he's the one that put in my heart to try to help my people. Um, Now I have one more slide, but I'm going to try to hold off. Well, actually, yeah, trying to debate what should I think I'll come back to it. All right, y'all. The theme of this presentation, GRCAM Black Business Affair 2025. Once I finish this presentation, then we're going to do side B. I'm going to have an opportunity to come on here to promote their Black business, their African business, and if they're Black artists, to promote their books, their business, or their music. Or if they have a small ministry, their ministry as well. I want them to give a little brief presentation, but that's going to be side B. Right now, we're on side A still. And now this is coming from an article the source is called blackdoctor.org. And the Black women lost jobs in April. Here's what's behind the surge. And again, if you want to read that whole article word for word, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. Click on the link, scroll down all the way to show and prove, and you would see it. I'm I did the research and I made it simple for you. You just do it that way. I encourage you again to follow me on my Medium page so that way you have access um, to my speeches. Okay, so while national unemployment rates remain steady, this is what the article's saying, and I'm just basically this is kind of like I'm summarizing what it was saying. Black women face their unemployment rate to a month-long high, according to recent data released by the federal government. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics report that Black women lost 38,106,000 last month. Quote, data from the digital platform HBCU Money shows the number of Black women employed is at a 5-month low and their numbers a 5-month high. Meanwhile, this is the important part. Other groups saw no significant changes. White women jobless rates held women remains at 4.6, according to the report. Unemployment among Black men dropped slightly to 5.6% in March. This is the part I want to show everybody that other groups saw no significant changes. And this is exactly why I said before, and I'm going to say this again. This is what happened analysis, because if you are just focusing on class, how is it that none of those other groups saw any significant changes? Now, some of this has to do with the federal saying about people losing their federal jobs. This is important to the Black community because what people have to know is that back in the day, before all the Civil Rights Act, having difficulty finding those jobs through the state or local jobs, the federal government was the one that stepped in and said, quote, we will offer federal jobs to help Black generational wealth, unquote. And the number still shows today. And um I am happy to share this information. The number the numbers still show today that a lot of Black families were able to establish some type of generational wealth with federal jobs. Those jobs that were cut heavily impacted Black Americans because a lot of Black Americans have those federal jobs. But more importantly, Black women to 6.3% continue a troubling trend. April marked the third month in a row that the number increased. Nationally, unemployment, and this is important because it's easy to look at the national unemployment rate, and I can say the unemployment rate hasn't increased, right? So if you are media that's pro Trump, you can easily put a certain data and you can say, look, under Donald Trump, the employment rate hasn't increased. But the information that I just gave you, if you just look at the national rate, yeah, you could say that, but they're not looking at the rate for Black women and the Black community as a whole. And that the number reflects a broader decline of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives due to policy changes under the Trump administration. For Black men, it shows some, but for Black women, it increases. Remember that Black women have 2 points in the hiring process and in the admission process. They get 2 points because they're and because they're Black. Whereas Black men, we only get 1 point because we're Black. William Michael Cunningham, an economist and owner of Creative Investment Research, women rising unemployment is directly tied to anti DEI policies and federal workforce cuts under the new administration. He said Black women, particularly in government, according to Cunningham, the number of Black Americans underemployed rose by 29,000 in April, reaching nearly 1.4 million. He said the labor force also shrank, counted as reported by Black Enterprise. April's job report also showed that federal employment fell by 9,000 jobs since January 2000. Black women have historically held a larger share of federal jobs, meaning these cuts have hit them especially hard. Employment in industries like retail sectors employ a large number of Black women, which adds to the impact. Okay. The layoffs at the federal level where Black women people are more represented, the impacts of the tariffs, particularly on small businesses that hire Black women, and just all of these factors are probably at play. DEI programs, especially in government and corporate settings, have been reduced and eliminated under have also pulled back on such initiatives in response to political pressures and lawsuits. As a result, roles tied to DEI have disappeared. For many Black women, those that no longer exist. This has been a problem for a while. I found a video on YouTube entitled, quote, Unemployment Rate for Black Women's Impact All Other Groups. To watch it in the comment section below this audio podcast, click on the link, then scroll down to show and proof. I'm not going to pull that video up due to sake of time. Although this video, Bureau of Labor Statistics, every racial group in America saw a dip in unemployment claims except for Black people. The unemployment rate for Black Americans actually rose to up from 6.5% in November. Black women have experienced the highest downturn in unemployment of any group. According to the data, the unemployment among Black women climbed from 4.2% in December. What this shows you is that when there are these issues with unemployment, when we have economic issues in the United States, Black people are hit the hardest. It's not good to tell people to just focus on class because there are certain groups that are hit harder. When there's an economic downturn, data shows that Black people are hit as labor shortage, but do these numbers reflect the opportunity shortage or disparity in the wages being offered to Black workers? Here's one thing they didn't cover in corporate America, and a lot of people won't tell you this. When you apply for a job, it's not just you applying for that position. There can be anywhere from 50 to 500 people applying for that same job. Your resume alone is not enough to make you stand out to get that job. So often times what people do, and um, I've been learning this as well. People will works there and can help them get an in or at least get the interview because, like I said, you're not the only person that's applying for these jobs. This applicant tracking system, higher education, etc. It's kind of just speeds through these resumes and is selecting keywords from the resume that will apply to some people aren't aware of. You kind of have to tailor your resume to the job description, but you do kind of need to have those keywords. But the way you can get around all of from the history website entitled Last Hired, First Fired, How the Great Depression Affected African Americans. And so I am going to pull up that I'm going to pull up that article so you can see that. And that's right here. And it's written by, a white American. And the article was really pretty good. And just read it because it's very insightful. Again, last hired, first fired, how the Great Depression affected African Americans. While no group escaped the fewer suffer more than African Americans, who experienced the highest unemployment rate during the 1930s. So if you listen to that, if you read that, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Trying to get out, trying to go. So, okay. Not to say that no one else is suffering. Other people are struggling too. Many struggles too. But when these things happen, when unemployment takes a hit in the United States, it impacts some of the things I already mentioned to you. Tongue twisted. obviously, racism plays a factor, but also the networking that actually matters. So, according to the article, depression was the worst downturn in the industrial world. While no group escaped the economic devastation of the Great Depression, few suffered more than African Americans. So, the phrase last hired, first fired, first to see hours and job cuts, and they experienced the highest unemployment rate during the 1930s since they were already regulated to low paying professions. African Americans on when the economy collapsed. So this is why it is harder for us when we are unemployed to bounce back like everyone else. When you don't have that economic cushion for um, living paycheck to paycheck, because the white supremacist financial elites prevented us from obtaining generational wealth. The Great Depression impacted African Americans for decades. The popularity of F- FDR, which stands for Franklin D. Roosevelt, and his New Deal program saw Black Americans switching our political allegiance from the Republican Party to the Democrat Party. And we became interesting because FDR's New Deal snubbed Black Americans in multiple ways. FDR's New Deal created redlining. It's interesting how the New Deal helped made us become Democrat Party, even though it slightly it hurted us in many ways. In other words, um, Black Americans' unemployment rate doubled or tripled those of white prior to the Great Depression. Black Americans worked after the stock market crash in 1929. Those entry level, low paying jobs either disappeared or were filled by whites in needs of employment. According to the Library of Congress, the 1932 climbed to approximately 50%. They talk about these entry level, low paying jobs. Who do you think they have been getting to those low positions today? That's my question to my listeners. People who will not ask for benefits or this is how the cycle continues. Here's what I think should be done. When I saw this article, I said to myself, this is to wake up. This is a wake up call for Black issue is quickly as someone gives you something, they can take it away. And that is what's happens when you don't have ownership. What I propose is that for Black Americans that have become on your own, then I want to connect with people like yourselves so that together we can rebuild the African American community or Black community, as well as form an alliance with the African immigrant community. JC, who grew up in Marcy's projects, they pulled themselves up the ladder, and then they take that ladder from behind themselves. It's a recruit becomes successful and pull themselves up the ladder and then um, remove that ladder from behind themselves, not teaching the Black masses how to climb up the ladder and stop from behind you. The second part is ownership. This conversation is about those federal jobs, and this led me to workers' cooperatives with workers' co-ops. I do in my business, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. I'm gonna give work it out with my lawyers that members, people that join business, that they're gonna have at least I would say 2%. They're gonna own 2% of the company, and then eventually work themselves up. Most of us don't own anything. Most of us don't own the company that we work for. We're just workers for the most part. Like I said, as quickly as they can give you a job, they can take away your job. Since you understand now that we don't have a financial cushion to farm in and be of support. But if the community is struggling, how can the community help? This is why I am trying to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago, the States of America, to please purchase my revised book first. Read my story for yourself. And if you agree with what I'm trying to do to help improve Black America, then make yourself known to me. Please join my management team and work with me to get this film project fully funded and made. So that way, together, we can make a quality Black empowerment film based on my experience. In history, like I said, with me and Sister Renee, I was so angry about how Black Americans was begging Target, um, you know, and I would say trying to boycott Target, because they got rid of their white women. Do the research. It is what it is. Um, so we can't count on our so-called upper class black people because a lot of them are our Black politicians, and they are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. So they're not as Black. Professionals are who I'm trying to target, but many of them aren't willing to work with the Black community as well because many of them have become Americanized and develop a narcissist attitude. So this is why it's taking me so long. But I'm gonna do the best that I can. That's all I can do. Um, so trying to just bear with me. Again, we will offer workers co-op to our members so that they can be allowed to own a piece of the company. We won't have to worry about someone taking our livelihood away from us. I stand against this slave mentality among um, Blacks, and it has to stop. They're not teaching our children how to create a workers' co-op. The public school system is not teaching our children how to go out and transform our community, how to start a workers' co-op. We will create and promote Black empowerment films that will inspire Black youth and African youth. I don't understand how Black people can just pretend that the neighborhood that they grew up in isn't, there anymore. Because it's still being redlined to this day. That's why we don't have community investment. This is why I'm trying to create this business so we can do those things. Practice group economics. We got to reject that N word. When I was in high school, a lot of my I must just say my acquaintances, they kept used to tell me they the real N word, and I was like, oh, it's such a turn on. It This is why rather than just getting off topic and you know uh, just trying to keep it professional and all that good stuff, I'm trying to build something positive in the African American community so that our Black youth can have something to go when they're not in school, a place to help them get off the streets and stay out of gangs, a place where they can earn money to help support their family. This is all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to push religion on people, that it is what it is about religion. This is right now critical what's going on. Debating about religion, that's just a waste of time. People are going to believe whatever they want to believe. This isn't about layoff, it's about erasure. As long as you are working for someone else, who can fire you at any time. Kamala Harris, and who helped raise $1 million for her. If those same Black women would use that same energy to help us with this film project, turn around our communities in Chicago. It's about us getting tougher, living here in what I'm saying is it's going to get tougher here in America for our Black youth and to leave because the whole 42 million Blacks just up and leaving America is not going to happen due to finances. Black men and Black women will experience the same eviction. Let's be clear. Mainstream media will tell you that unemployment is down 42% nationwide. Black women are sitting at 6% and climbing, are out of work. In April 2025, Black women lost 106,000 jobs. By August, 300,000 jobs Black women had lost, while the broader economy was adding jobs. So, quote unquote, like those illegal immigrants, you want to hire them because they don't have to pay them as much. Is what it is. The white supremacist financial elites are replacing Black Americans for immigrants. Every time, it immediately replaces them with someone else that's less qualified for less pay. I'm not anti-immigrant, but I am anti the discrimination. We stayed in positions long enough to earn raises, benefits, and respect. These corporations are looking at their balance sheets and looking for someone who won't call HR when they see racism in the workplace. When 300,000 Black women disappear from the workforce, that is an attack on generational wealth, your mortgage, your rent, or your bills. Understand where these cuts are happening in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, where companies now they're being gutted. In contrast, Black men unemployment rate is 6.9% and creeping up. We don't have time to argue about religion or issues versus Black women issues. This is about one issue, Black survival in America. We're being down this road before. Every time we build something for ourselves, the white supremacist financial elites always sabotage construction. Black Americans were holding public office, creating businesses, owning land. Then the white supremacist financial elites imposed Jim Crow on us. They offered us a backdoor under the 13th Amendment called prison, which legalized convict leasing. After World War II, white American vets got the GI Bill, bought homes, and built wealth. Same benefits. After the civil rights movement, the white supremacist financial elites decided to divide Black Americans based on social class. They offered Black middle class and upper Black suburbs outside of the Black ghettos. This made the Black community vulnerable. They flooded our inner cities with drugs, guns, and liquor stores. This also the manufacturing jobs overseas under the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, in order to keep Black men out of the work and get caught up with mass incarceration. Now, after 2019 racial reckoning, they're rolling back a lot of programs our grandparents fought and died for, allowing illegal immigrants to flood the city. The white supremacist financial elites want us to fight each other. Black women blaming Black men for not protecting them. Black men blaming Black women for competing against them for economic gain. Keep the oppressor. When we're fighting over crumbs, we don't ask why they're holding the loaf of bread. The firing wave, it's the end. It's the beginning. You think they're done after 300,000 Black women? If they can push this through without protest, because they know they can run the same play on the next generation. We have to start thinking two moves ahead. We have to learn how to use the program, AI. This is why I keep saying practicing group economics and pulling our resources together, owning our skills and creating our own spaces to hire and train our people. It does not make jobs in their businesses. The white supremacist financial elites love passive outrage. You get upset for 15 minutes, then you scroll to the next podcast. Guess what? I'm asking for my listeners to tell 25 people about this audio podcast. 300,000 Black women jobs are gone. That's not a headline, that's a warning. Here's what's going, here's what's coming down. The Black home ownership drops even further. Student loan defaults will increase. Black women's homelessness will increase. The next generation will be even further behind. Immigrants doesn't happen all at once. It's a slow process and it's made to look natural. Here's the solution on how we can fight back. First, purchase my revised book, The Black World Can Take Our Cause Serious. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. No matter where you live, please help spread the word about what I'm trying to do for our people who are trapped in American ghettos, specifically Black Chicago. Make arrangements with me in America and also in Africa. Finally, get behind our film project so that we can get our story on the big screen to let the whole Black world know who we are and what we're trying to do, as well as for us to compete. The activist movement will have two fronts: a domestic front, which will focus on solving Black issues within the United States of America, African issues across the sub-Saharan Africa. Under our for-profit business, we will build and control our own community grocery store, create skills sharing networks, call out companies that are replacing us en masse. We win when we show up as one block, one voice, one demand. Activate our mission to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African, Caribbean, and Latin American tours to do of our work and have an ever greater impact on our neighborhood, city, and country. We plan on building a performance art hub that cross-cultural understanding and interpersonal connections, transforming our inner cities through community-based projects to create a society in which exists. We will promote economic opportunities in the African American community as well as in the African immigrant community. By being an advocate, and Kai of Chicago will provide neighborhood revival, neighborhood reveal. Sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted. Revital strategies and partners, businesses, cultural institutions, and civic leaders. We will offer associate degrees, vocational training, creative writing workshops. Our objective is to offer a quality performing arts center, film and technology center, affordable artist lofts, quality restaurants, cities to navigate the community's emotional, cultural, and economic health. We will offer different membership levels. Basic membership, the Kai of Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility consisting of a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector. Number one, a social service component. Number two, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people. Number three, a political component. Number four, an entertainment component. Wellness component. Number seven, Black grassroots media component. Number eight, science and technology component. And number nine, travel and tourism component. Under the for-profit sector, it will be known as the Red Zone. We will have bowling, high ropes adventures, captivating game room featuring the latest video and amusements, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants. Various recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together. This will be group economics in action. We will offer rental space for our members who have went through our business classes. It's the Green Zone. GRCAM of Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. GRCAM of Chicago will be membership-based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make are returned to our and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer light groceries through our food pantry for African youth and their families. We will offer a second chance program for ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes, former gang members, and homeless individuals within the community. GRCAM of Chicago is about strengthening the Black family and about providing healing for Black Americans from the slave mentality. It's about healing for African immigrants from the colonized mindset. We will learn and respect each other, supplicate the business on the African continent. Attention, global African family. GRCAM of Chicago will help benefit Africa because we will bring millions through tourism alone. Once GRCAM of Africa is established, then we will bring skills, create businesses, and global networks. We will assist Black American families who are in housing, banking, and medical services. Black families will have quality of life, have a sense of belonging and safety. In each African nation that we visit, we will set up local chapters and match Black with African artists, so that way we can do international trade among our people and our members. We also plan on setting up local chapters in each African nations that visit. Our objective is to unite our class Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. GRCAM of Chicago is about raising the bar. We will separate ourselves from the enemy within: con artists, Black boule, degenerates, urban terrorists. Once GRCAM members build GRCAM of Chicago, then we will hold mandatory orientation for local residents on the west side of Chicago. Each person must have a background check and submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database. This business will be membership based. I'm only responsible for GRCAM members. Those who are not part of us, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. We will cover also the south side of Chicago and make our presence known there in the African American community. Our objective is to make Chicago a model city across the nation. I am on a mission on how GRCAM members will take the lead in turning around our inner cities in Chicago and in due time in the slums of Africa if given a chance. GRCAM challenged the Black church to live up to its potential and encourage Black culture to create Black to create Black empowerment films, inspire content while changing the world. We will promote kingdom economy, create a platform which bridge the gaps between Black Americans and African immigrants, as well as Caribbeans and people in Latin America throughout the diaspora. The CAM will consist of um, a shift in CAM community pledges to publicly unify with like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago and like-minded African immigrants across the United States to join our um, organization. We're trying to gather support for our first Black empowerment film. We are looking for Black artists, African artists, um, musicians, to promote their music in our films and stage plays. We stand against drill music, trap music that glorifies murder, drug dealing, and drug use. The disrespect. Join the movement today. Purpose of this platform again is to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans beyond Chicago and like-minded African immigrants across the United States of America to first get my revised book on that bestsellers list, as well as get behind this film project. So together we can make a quality Black empowerment film that will reach our Black youth and our African youth. Bro. Um, Again, I'm called by Jesus slash Yahshua to create the best African American business within the United States of America, starting in Chicago. Similar to that of Nehemiah, who was called by fine engineers, architects, and inventors to rebuild a new city. I am seeking qualified Black middle class professionals and qualified African immigrants who have training in Black attorneys, investors, Black entrepreneurs, African entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and philanthropists. I'm also looking for legitimate artists such as seasoned film crews, stage managers, professional fundraisers, technical directors, graphic designers, and marketers who have read my story and agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black Chicago. Please make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I am dead. Work with me while I am alive. And I provide my business email in the book because I'm trying to connect with people for real. That's those that don't want to work with me in Chicago. It is what it is. There ain't no shame. I go beyond Chicago to recruit people to come to Chicago. I need boots on the ground. But before we do all of that, read my story first. Let me generate some capital from that book. Help me make this film project. Most of all, help me raise funds for that so that way I can be in a position to pay you. Doing the best that I can on my end. And those that rejected me, no problem. You will not be part of my business. And that's real. There ain't nothing changing on my end. Uh, Again, I want my management team in place first before we do the film and all that stuff. But I want to make sure I raise that 250,000. So I want people to know I'm gonna put that on the table once I'm able to do that. And you can see it because it's gonna be um GoFundMe, PayPal, and buy me a coffee. Those are the three main that things that I'm gonna be using. Crowdfunding. Um I'm almost done, y'all, so just bear with me, please. Under our Buy Me a Coffee page, I'm independent, which means I'm nothing without you. If you feel support me, then use this site. I want you to support me on whatever level you can because everyone's situation is different, and I don't want to deprive anyone of any um, membership privileges. Once I get my management team in place, then we will focus on getting our film project fully funded and made. We will offer behind the scene footage for those who have supported our film project through this site and the other two sites, which page in our PayPal Giving Fund page. Join Essential. That would be $10 per month. And again, you can donate it through, I would, like I say, either our Buy Me a Coffee page, PayPal Giving Fund page. So it's up to you. But those are the three crowdfunding sources that we're using. I appreciate whatever, and also have your name on there so that way we can acknowledge you. Now, if you're anonymous, I can't acknowledge you, but It is what it is. So under our Join Essential for $10 per month, um, with this, you get behind the scene footage of me in real life, stuff I won't put on social media. Access only for paid members. I would let you preview footage of the film before we release it to the public. Okay. Access to behind the scene footage for our film project. Members only chat, that's going to be coming soon. And priority access to GRCAM events. Crew with me, that'd be $20 per month. Being part of the film crew will get you on camera to ask questions after we're filming a live shoot. We appreciate your generosity and look forward to seeing you during with actors and film crew. Um, or join our righteousness. That'd be $30 per month. Um, you'll get behind the scene footage of my real life. I would let you preview behind the scenes of the film before it drops to the public, and we'll be etc. So basically get your opinions about things. Join Hood Liberator supporters. That's $50 per month. You'll get exclusive shout outs during our podcasts and video streams. Chicago private Facebook group. Join the after party. That's $60 per month. You are invited to join the after party. Come hang out with us after shooting footage of the day. That means you're going to have to come to Chicago. You can meet me in person and all that stuff. And we appreciate seeing you soon. So here are some points based on the availability of our guests. Multiple guests could be invited to the same live events. You can join our diaspora devotees. That's one made for Black Americans and Africans. Zoom call to discuss future African/Black stories. Join first class. That's $200 per month. With this level, I would send you a coffee mug, but you're gonna have dress in order for me to do this. Then I can send you a coffee mug. We will display your name in the credits of the film. You will be included in any interview as it pertains to the film for the devotees and then some. Again, thank you for being on board and on code with this film project and for your generosity. Now we are going to open up the Zoom line for side B for everyone that's on my friends list. I want to give them an opportunity to come on here to promote their products and services. And again, it depends on how many people that's with me. Let's say, for example, 10 people. So then, I will let you take your time and, give you at least 5 to 10 minutes to speak, because we want to be fair and we want to be mindful of people's time. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing the best that I can to move this business from behind a computer over here. You know what I'm saying? I just want to connect with people that's on my friends list and for us to make GRCAM a reality. It's time for us to move from behind this computer, and I'm ready to take the lead, and we will take the lead. GRCAM members, we're not going to sit up here and talk about beat the torch, because truth be told, we are failing our kids, and that slave mentality is being passed down to them as I speak now. That's why a lot of I would say a lot of our people, they're looking at what I'm doing as a joke. They don't know I'm standing on business. But like I say, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in America. I don't want to be bogged down with Black American issues. I want to get the business up and running in America, and specifically Chicago, turn it over to my management team, and replicate the business in South Africa, point blank. More out of life and trying to get the business popping in 10 African nations in my lifetime. God's will it. But I want to make sure none of my members never have to experience this kind of foolishness I went through. It's totally unacceptable. With that being said, the phone lines will be open. All right. And I'll wait around for about 15 minutes. And if I don't have anybody on business, hey, it is what it is. Because we're going to do this every month. Every month. Well, I'm going to say at least to November 10th. That's going to mark our anniversary. It would be 34 years. That's a jail sentence. And it's a shame. Life was, some people, my enemies or critics would say, oh, you wasted your life. And I'm like, I beg to differ. I'm trying to create the best African American business within the United States, but I'm not going to do it with some people who run this thing. And so I can turn it over so that way I don't have to be bogged down. With that being said, the phone lines is open. I'm gonna wait around for about 15 minutes. Okay.